was a obviously that was a fun senior night. You're always a little nervous about how guys are going to play. I thought these guys would play well. They were good at shoot around this morning and just had a good sense about them in the locker room before the game. So I was confident. Obviously, PJ was on fire, which was terrific. And then Chase and Joe and Ian, they all played exceptionally well. And Syracuse kept coming back and fighting. Again, I think Red's doing a really good job there, and they got a good team. But our guys played very well. We kept our turnovers down and had great balance, great efficiency on offense, and did enough good things on defense to win the game. So, questions for me?
Coach, how special was it to be able to extend the lead there at the end and give your guys a curtain call?
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun and certainly well deserved. And those guys are just Chase and PJ have just been with me so long that obviously have deep bond for those guys. Love them both tremendously, and thankful that I've had the opportunity to coach them. And then Jack and Joe and Boz, it's that's still pretty cool too. Like to get to experience some positive things with those guys and get to know them. Great people from really good families. So they've just meshed really well with this group. Sometimes when you bring in that many transfers, you're obviously concerned about how your chemistry is going to be, but ours has been great. And I think my staff deserves a lot of credit. I think we identified the right kinds of kids in the portal. And then I think the players on the team, especially PJ and Chase, very welcoming. And that's not always the case with older guys that are going to share some things. So it's been a really fun year with this group, and proud of them, and certainly hope it continues a long way here.
How important was it to close out the half the way you did after the
Yeah.
emotions of the way the game started?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some highs and lows. PJ hit the wall there, and we didn't have a timeout for, I don't know, it felt like 2 minutes. To him, it probably felt like 20. And I almost used a timeout, but I wanted to save it and ended up using it later. That helped us get a basket. But, he was running on fumes, and some of that's emotional. You're just when you're making as many shots as he's making, he's got a lot of juice running through his body and pretty excitable. But then it all of a sudden hits you a little bit, and you're dying. And so then, our bench didn't do great the first time they went in. And Cuse made a little run back at us, and then our guys did a nice job to finish the half. Our older players really, I was kind of going to ride with them a lot. Really proud of Chauncey Wiggins. I thought his baskets there in the stretch were significant. I thought he came with a lot of energy and juice, and just proud of him for attacking the basket and doing tougher things than he's done in his career. And, I've kind of been sitting him some to try to teach him a lesson, and I think it's helped. He's improving, and he's improving at the things that he needs to be really, really good, because he's going to be a good shooter and he's going to score points. But driving the ball and making tough plays, rebounding the ball, defending, that's going to make him an elite player.
What excites you about this group of guys, the veteran presence that you have on this team? As the games go forward, they get a little bit more important, they get a little bit bigger, and it seems like that first 15 minutes of those.
Yeah, we obviously have stretches like a lot of teams. We need to shoot the ball well because we're much better defensively. We've improved, but we're not an elite defensive team, and so we have to be able to score some, and we have the ability to do that. Obviously, we showed that today. We struggled the other night. I don't think we had great practices, and we didn't have enough guys, and it was frustrating. We had some more guys. Having Jack back in practice helped. Having PJ for one of the days was good. Ian practiced, most of both days, and I think it showed in our play. So I think that's, offense is a lot of rhythm and timing and confidence, and, you make some adjustments and you need all your guys there. We made a couple adjustments I thought helped us today, and our guys played really well.
Brad, what has Joe Girard meant to the program this year?
Yeah, he's obviously a terrific player that stretches the defense and scores and takes pressure off our other guys. And then also he brings an offensive confidence and a mentality of winning that you need, right? He's another proven player, and that's what we talked about. You know, when we went into the portal, we had a specific plan. We lost Brevin and Hunter, and we thought our sophomores are going to be good players, but they're not quite ready to be 30-minute guys. And with P.J. Hall and Chase Hunter, you know, we wanted to have another guy or two that, like, we feel like we can play for some big things. We didn't want to take that chance, and so we wanted a rebounder because Hunter Tyson's a heck of a rebounder and a big wing, and that's Jack Clark. And obviously his defense is terrific. And then we wanted a guy that could score. We knew we needed one more guy that could score, and that's Joe. And so those two guys in place of Brevin and Hunter has worked nicely. And obviously you still had Chase, you still had PJ. We knew Ian was going to take another step as a player. And so obviously those parts of the puzzle have worked out.
You talked about Ian and PJ practicing a little bit. Have they kind of turned a corner in terms of?
I'm hopeful. I mean, it's like the Grim Reaper with Brad Crow because it's every day he walks up and you just don't know what he's going to tell you. You think, I mean, it's like last year when we beat Duke and we're 7-0 in the league and I feel great, and then I see him on Sunday and he's like, "You're not going to like what I tell you. Chase's ankle's not good, his foot's not good. He's not going to play for a couple of games." And I said, he just played. Like, I don't understand. Like, he finished, well, he was the adrenaline of the game and his foot was bothering him and he just played through it. But, like, now it's going to swell up and it's going to have a problem, and it did. And so he was out. And so then all of a sudden it's like, you know, that's hard. So I'm hopeful. I think they've gotten better. The not practicing has helped. I think they've been able to play in the games. But it's, we still got to get through the end here.
I don't want to jinx him, but Joe's been automatic at the free throw line lately. How valuable is that headed into postseason?
Yeah, I mean, obviously making shots down the stretch, free throws down the stretch, really important. And he's done a terrific job. Our guys have done. Ian was good tonight. Our guys have done a good job in that area. Help close out.
4 players tonight with over 15 points.
Yeah.
What part of your game plan allowed so many to flourish?
Yeah, I don't. Part of it is the way they guard. I mean, they try to make it hard on Joe, which is, some other teams do as well. But that does open up space for other guys. And we tried to go inside and have a mix, and we knew that the way they guarded that there's going to be some shots for PJ. PJ has such a quick release that he's going to be able to get some shots off at any time. There was only 1 3 that he took tonight that I didn't like. There's probably 2 at Notre Dame that I didn't like. And as much as that's hard, teams are doing different things to make it hard on those guys inside as well. And so you gotta kind of let them have that mix. And in a game like tonight where they're making a couple shots from the perimeter, and then that opens more things up. And then sometimes guys are even driving. Chase is driving. Ian has more room to finish, and certainly that was the case tonight.
You mentioned Jack Clark's just significance defensively. Just what has it meant for him to return to practice and get back into that rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, he just practiced one day, and it wasn't like he was full speed that day. But, he's an older player, plays a game with poise. He doesn't get sped up in anything he does. I mean, in anything. And so it probably is helpful in a game because he just kind of is out there and he just kind of does his job. And, I sat him down a while back, and told him, man, hey, just defense and rebounding is what I need you to concentrate on. And if you'll do those 2 things, you're going to start playing more because that's where Chauncey's not ready yet, and that's what we need the most. We've got Joe Girard who scored 2,000 points. P.J. Hall scored 1,600 points. Chase Hunter is probably at 1,100 or 1,200 points. Like, we got enough. We need somebody that can stop the other guys and get defensive rebounds. And, and that's what's happened. And he's done an unbelievable job. He guarded Chris Bell a lot tonight. We mixed in some zone. But he did a terrific job on Bell when he was there.
PJ was in here a little bit ago to make his pitch for in-state guys to stay at home.
Yeah.
You mentioned in your speech out there, you had guys that you tried to get that didn't do it, and he was the first. What does it mean to hear that, and how exciting?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've been telling a lot of kids. You can have an unbelievable experience. You can achieve everything that you want to achieve here at home at Clemson. You can be all ACC. You can score 1,500 points, you can, be first team all conference, you can get drafted, and you're going to do it at a place where people are very genuine and care about you. And you're going to get coached, you're going to get a great education, and you're going to be at a university that just does everything right and takes care of their student athletes. And so, I'm hopeful that other, certainly South Carolina kids, but kids in the area are taking notice, and certainly we're using that in recruiting. And but it does take somebody to be the first, and he was that guy. So obviously he'll always hold a special place in my heart.
Coach, you haven't played Wake this season, but Saturday's going to be a big one. It's going to be senior night for them, number 4 seed in the tournament on the line. How much of a challenge is that going to be?
Yeah, really hard. They're good, and they've been great at Lawrence Joel. They're just dynamic. They got a lot of different weapons. Obviously, Steve's done an unbelievable job in the portal as well. They have great size inside. So yes, it'll be a tremendous challenge.
Brad, is there a looseness that comes with coaching and playing this late in the season where you don't have to worry about being on the bubble? You're safely in the NCAA tournament. It's just about improving the seed line at this point?
A little. I mean, it certainly feels a lot better. Like today's game, I think, solidified it. We felt like we were in after Pitt, if you ask the staff. But, you don't want to be – you don't want to lose a couple games in a row and go into the tournament or whatnot not playing well. But, yeah, it's – I don't know that it's a drastic difference, but, it at least hopefully takes a little bit of pressure off your guys, and you can focus on getting better and working on some of the things you need to work on, and guys play with confidence. I think it's more difficult than people realize for people, and there's so many teams that are dealing with it, that play all these games in the last, you guys have been asking us about it starting in February, you know what I mean? And you play 5 weeks where it hadn't been this way for us, but in other years it's like, man, this is a must win. And then to the next guy's like, hey, in the next game, it's a must win. And this guy over here, it's a must win. Well, how many must wins do we have? We're trying to win them all, but if they're all must wins, guys aren't going to play great every night, and the other teams are going to play well. It's hard. And some of the teams, they're free-minded because they're not in the tournament. They already know that, and they're just kind of playing. And if they get off to a good start, the end of the game, there's no pressure on them, and there is pressure on the teams that are trying to play for the bubble. And as much as coaches and players don't want to talk about it, everybody knows, and it's not easy. So certainly thankful that we've handled our business well enough this year to pretty much not worry about those things.
Coach, you talked about how hard it is to play at Wake, and this second half was amazing shooting for y'all. Y'all shot 63%, but the same for Syracuse. They shot about 54% from the field as well. So just, you haven't watched the film yet, but what you've seen while coaching, what talents or what things can you take from the offensive side as well, but what things can you improve on the defensive side going to your last regular season?
Yeah, first of all, those guys are hard to guard. Judah Mintz is an all-conference player, and when Chris Bell's on the floor, he takes defenders with him, so there's more space, and everybody's just working on their individual defense, right? And we had a couple of ball screen mix-ups tonight that we got to do better. But, at the end of the day, we won the game pretty well. I'm going to try to enjoy this if you guys don't mind. So.
Ian had 16 and 16. It's
Yeah.
the 9th double-double of the year.
Yeah,
What can you say about the most
I hope he's most improved. The guy's been unbelievable. Obviously he's playing with other elite players. So it's not like he's getting overshadowed because I think people notice. But that performance right there, those 16 rebounds, unbelievable now. And what that equates to in terms of extra points for us, I think he certainly is most improved.
What will you learn from these seniors as he takes the mantle next year?
I hope, the leadership part, which is not easy. I think PJ's drastically improved as a leader this year, and it's hard because it's not always natural for everybody, and it won't be natural for Ian. He's going to have to work at that. But, he's gained confidence knowing he's a really good player, and he's got a lot of credibility within our program, and so certainly that's a great place to start when you have the respect of your teammates.